Let's be honest. Most men underestimate how powerful touch really is in a relationship. You might talk right, text right, act confident, and still wonder why emotional closeness feels distant or inconsistent. Because here's the truth. Women don't bond through words alone. They bond through presence, physiology, safety, and emotional rhythm. And touch, when done right, becomes the bridge between your mind and her heart. But touch done wrong, it can push her away, make her tense, or kill connection faster than silence ever could. If you've ever felt like a woman liked you but suddenly became distant, colder, or emotionally closed, there's a high chance the rhythm and intention behind your touch wasn't aligned with her emotional state. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how touch builds deep psychological attraction and emotional bonding with women, step by step, backed by emotional intelligence and grounding energy, not neediness or force. Maybe you think touch is only about romance or attraction, but for women, touch is first about nervous system regulation. Imagine sitting beside her. She's thinking, analyzing, judging herself, overthinking everything she says. You gently place your hand near hers, slow, grounded, not taking, just offering connection. She exhales, shoulders drop, eyes soften. That's not physical chemistry, that's emotional safety. Women open emotionally when they feel protected, not pressured. The smart man doesn't rush physical closeness, he earns emotional relaxation. Real intimacy begins the moment her nervous system trusts you. Maybe you leaned in once thinking she liked you, and she pulled back. You felt embarrassed, but you weren't rejected. You just didn't read her emotional timing yet. Touch is information. Light contact tells you more than words. If she relaxes, smiles, leans in, touches back, she's receptive. If she freezes, shifts away, breath shortens, she needs slower energy. The emotionally intelligent man doesn't push harder, he attunes. Touch is your radar, not your weapon, and once you can read her, you learn that patience breeds magnetism. Touch at the wrong emotional moment backfires. Picture her stressed about work. You go to hug her. Instead of relaxing, she stiffens. Not because she doesn't like you, but because you tried to comfort before listening. Emotional connection first, touch second. Validate her experience, breathe with her energy, then physically connect. Timing turns touch from pressure into peace, and peace turns into presence. Some men touch like they're claiming territory, not connecting souls, gripping, holding tight, controlling the moment. Women feel that insecurity instantly. True masculine touch doesn't say, "You belong to me." It says, "You're safe with me," guiding her through a crowd with a gentle hand on her back, protective, grabbing her arm to turn her, controlling. Strength isn't force, it's steadiness. Women melt for steadiness. That steadiness becomes subtle intimacy. It's not grand gestures that bond women. It's micro touches, light tap during a joke, fingers brushing when handing her something, gentle touch on her back while walking, adjusting her necklace. These tiny moments say, "I see you, I'm here. You matter." They create emotional memory. Women fall for the small, consistent signals, not the once-in-a-while dramatic moves. But there's a deeper layer. I once thought touch meant intimacy only. Then I learned the most intimate moment isn't kissing. It's when someone relaxes into your presence silently, trusting your calm energy. Connection isn't a move, it's a frequency. Quick shout out to today's partner, helping men build confidence and emotional grounding. Link below. Sometimes she doesn't need advice, she needs presence. A soft hand squeeze while she's processing emotions, fingers interlaced during silence, a gentle thumb trace on her hand when she's anxious. These gestures tell her you're not alone. Women listen with their nervous system. A man who can comfort without talking becomes unforgettable. But comfort isn't monotone. If your touch energy is always soft, always gentle, she feels safe. but not always excited. Attraction needs contrast. Slow, grounding touch during intimate moments. Playful taps during flirtation. Firm, guiding pressure when walking. Gentle cheek touch after a laugh. Polarity keeps romance alive. Emotional depth requires touch depth, but depth is impossible without presence. Hugging while thinking about your phone or your day, she feels the absence. Touch requires breath, eye contact, stillness, attention. When you touch, pause. Let the moment breathe. Feel her. Let her feel you present. Women don't remember the touch. They remember how they felt in it. And that brings us to respect. Nothing is more masculine than awareness. A man who says, "Tell me if anything feels off," radiates strength, not weakness. Consent isn't about seeking permission, it's about emotional leadership. It signals security, maturity, self-assurance. In a world full of pressure, the man who protects comfort becomes the man she trusts with vulnerability. And trust unlocks true intimacy. Needy touch drains. Secure touch nourishes. Some men touch to get reassurance or closeness, but the most powerful touch gives warmth without needing return. A secure man doesn't touch to fill emptiness, he touches to share fullness. That energy is magnetic because women don't fall for the hands. They fall for the intention behind them. Let's clarify something. Gentle does not mean weak. Weak touch hesitates, trembles, seeks permission through fear. Gentle touch is intentional, controlled, deeply present. Weakness asks, "Is this okay?" from insecurity. Gentleness communicates, "I am grounded, and I care how you feel." Women don't want soft men. They want men who can be soft without losing strength. When you hold her waist softly but confidently, it feels like safety, not submission. Masculine energy is calm power, not force or fragility. A lot of men ask, "Where should I touch?" The real question is, what energy am I bringing? You don't learn this by memorizing moves. You learn by paying attention to breathing, reaction, body language. You slow down, you let silence work, you lead with patience. Practicing presence is the practice. The more grounded you are, the more naturally touch flows. There is a difference between momentum and rushing. Momentum is when emotional connection builds until physical touch feels inevitable. Rushing is when you force the moment because you fear losing it. Rushing feels hungry, shaky, uncertain. Momentum feels magnetic, natural, earned. Build the emotional arc. Storytelling, laughter, eye contact, tension, closeness, and touch becomes an extension of the emotional moment, not a jump ahead. Most men try to hold touch as long as possible. Confident men sometimes release first, gently. When you pull back softly at the right moment, you leave warmth, curiosity, and desire. Ending first signals you are not clinging. It shows emotional discipline. Women feel attraction in space and closeness combined. Space builds longing. Presence builds connection. Alternate both. Connection isn't only romantic moments. Touch her shoulder when handing her coffee. Playfully bump her elbow during a joke. Place your hand at the small of her back while letting her pass through a door. Adjust her hair clip. Rest your hand on her thigh while talking casually. Normalizing small touch normalizes intimacy. Intimacy shouldn't be a peak. It should be part of your rhythm. Touch is not about technique, it's about emotional frequency. Women don't fall for touch. They fall for how they feel in your presence. Become calm, become steady, become intentional, and connection becomes effortless. True connection grows when your energy touches her before your hands.